Welcome to The Explainer. So let's talk about saying sorry at work. We all do it, but have you ever felt like it just wasn't enough, especially when the stakes are really high? Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful framework from the Curious Journal of Medical Science for making things right in a way that actually rebuilds trust and makes things better.
Okay, so to really get into this, we're not going to start with a bunch of theory. Nope, we're going to start with a real-life, super high-stakes story from the world of medicine. It pretty much sets the stage for everything else.
So get this. This is a direct quote from the author of the paper we're looking at. He's a doctor, and he's describing this moment where he's like, hey, we need a specialist for this patient, urgently. And what happens? A senior colleague just tears him down in a group email, calls his judgment stupid. I mean, can you imagine? In front of everyone.
And here's the kicker. Just hours later, the patient is rushed into the exact surgery he called for. He was totally right. His call literally saved a life. But the apology? It never came. The public takedown, the disrespect, all of that was just left hanging in the air. You can feel how wrong that is, right?
This whole situation, right from the front lines of a hospital, it raises this huge question that goes way beyond medicine. I mean, what happens when the people who are literally saving lives can't even say sorry to each other in a meaningful way? What are the ripple effects? What are those hidden costs? Right, so let's connect the dots here. We're going to see how one really awful moment like that isn't just a one-off. It can actually snowball into a huge systemic problem. And yeah, we're talking about life or death consequences. And believe me, this applies whether you're in an OR or a corporate boardroom.
And this isn't just a gut feeling. The data backs it up. These kinds of things are happening all the time. Check this out. In a big study of intensive care units, arguably the most stressful place in any hospital, a whopping 70% of the staff said they've experienced conflicts at work. 70%. That's not an exception, that's just the way things are.
And here's where it gets really serious. This isn't just about hurt feelings or bad vibes. Almost half, 44%, of those same people believe these conflicts could directly harm a patient's chance of survival. Think about that. When a team is broken, communication falls apart, and mistakes happen. And that's true anywhere, right? Whether you're launching a new product or trying a court case, bad team dynamics have real consequences. This all points to this really weird paradox, and you've probably seen this in your own job. Companies have these super formal, thought-out systems for apologizing to customers, right? They're encouraged, legally protected, the whole deal. But when it comes to colleagues apologizing to each other, it's like the Wild West. It's rare, people think it's risky, and there are absolutely no rules. So that's the problem we're tackling, that paradox. Clearly, just saying a quick, my bad, or sorry isn't going to fix this deep-seated issue. And that's where the paper we're looking at comes in. It proposes a real solution, a super clear, actionable system called the ASIRP framework.
Okay, but before we jump into the ARP, we got to understand the big idea behind it. This isn't about pointing fingers or figuring out who gets punished. The whole philosophy here is something called restorative justice. And that's all about one thing: healing the relationship and actually rebuilding the trust that got shattered.
All right, so here it is, the ARP framework. It's 3 steps. They sound simple, but wow, are they powerful. First is acknowledge. This is where you own what you did, the specific harm, no excuses. Second is repair. You have to offer a real, meaningful action to make things right. And third, and this is crucial, is prevent. You commit to a concrete plan to make sure it never, ever happens again.
And this is the real game changer. Thinking about an apology this way isn't about admitting you're weak. It's an act of quality improvement for your team's relationship. You're not just trying to make someone feel better, you're fixing a bug in the system. And that makes the whole team stronger and safer, no matter what you do.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like when you put it into practice? Let's rewind and go back to that story from the beginning. Let's imagine a different ending, one where the senior doctor used this ARP framework.
So instead of just silence, imagine this. The senior colleague could have started with acknowledge, I publicly dismissed your referral. You are right, and my response was totally disrespectful. Then repair. In our next team meeting, I'm going to tell everyone you were spot on and thank you. And finally, prevent. I'm going to set up a new protocol for urgent referrals so this kind of dismissal can't happen again. I mean, can you feel the difference? It's not just words, it's concrete action.
Now, let's be real. This is not easy. The paper is very upfront about this. Trying to do this runs headfirst into some of the biggest walls we have at work: ego, insecurity, and just plain old hierarchy. It takes real guts to be this vulnerable, and it takes a workplace culture that actually supports it.
But the good news is you don't have to boil the ocean to get started. The author suggests some really simple, elegant ways to track if this is working. Like, just add a checkbox to the incident reports you already use. Was an ARP apology completed? Yes or no? Or send out a quick, anonymous survey asking people how safe they feel speaking up. Simple, right?
And really, this all leads to the paper's main point, its big takeaway. This stuff isn't soft skills. It's not a nice to have. The trust that holds a team together, the kind of trust that you build with a framework like this, it's an absolute prerequisite. You need it for safety, and you need it for success. Period.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. This framework, it's obviously not just for doctors. Think about your world, your job, your family, your friendships. Who in your life deserves more than just a quick sorry? Who deserves an apology that really acknowledges the harm, repairs the damage, and commits to preventing it from happening again?